Austin, it was a long road trip, and you guys played like you were happy to be back in Los Angeles. What was clicking for the team tonight?
It's just always good to be back home, playing in front of this crowd. But the main thing was we got back. We had an off day yesterday. We met here, and had a really good film session about coming together as a team and doing what it takes to be successful and sacrificing for one another. And I think from that film session on, it was just about winning tonight.
Triples were falling for you tonight in this arena. When that first one goes down, does it just help you catch the feeling? Or because I know you're going to shoot it when you're open regardless.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to make your first one. But I think, overall, we just played a good game of basketball. We shot open shots. If we wasn't open, we, drove closeouts, made them scramble, swing. And like I said, we just played good basketball tonight. And when you do that, the basketball gods is going to reward you.
Cam played well in the starting role. D'Lo played really well in that bench role. How did you guys adjust to that, and what did you think of both of them?
Shout out to both of them, especially D'Lo for being a professional. And, he's, been an all-star in this league. He's, a hell of a player. And for him to be a pro like that and take that news with, joy and then taking it as a challenge to make our bench unit better. And that's what he did tonight. And Cam, I've spoken about it many times. It's not easy to not play about 6 games in a row and then just randomly be put in a game with no warning, no nothing, and show what you can do. It's easy to hang your head and not be ready, but that's every day we have this conversation, and you want to see guys like that win.
Yeah, and I know you're tight with both of those guys.
Yeah, very. I mean, play a lot of Call of Duty together, but yeah, it's just like I said. It was a good team win, and I'm happy for those two guys.
All right, appreciate it, Austin.
Thank you.
First and foremost, obviously, with the plantar fasciitis, how's the foot feeling?
Hurt. Definitely bothering me, but figure it out.
Is it something throughout the course of a game that you're able to kind of just play through, and then obviously it's about the management game to game?
Yeah. Getting it loose enough to go out there and play, and then trying to manage it throughout the course of the game. Make sure it's staying loose so it doesn't tighten back up on me. But so we're trying to just manage, keep finding a way to, keeping it loose. But felt good for the most part. Had some parts in the game where, it was really bothering me. But, I think the off days, the days in between games are, the most crucial, where I get a chance to really get some treatment on it and, get it feeling good for, game day.
Whether it was execution throughout the game or just the approach in general, what stood out to you most about your squad?
Things we talked about, pregame, transition, getting back to us, on both ends of the floor. I think we were able to do that. Obviously they missing, they're 2 big players, Joel and Tyrese, but, we always preach it's not about, who we're playing, it's how we play. So, we just want to come out and be better on the defensive end, especially in transition, and then, be better on the offensive end with our execution, and I think we did a good job with it tonight.
Yeah, I asked JJ what he told you heading into the season, and he said to win the MVP. You're obviously open this season playing MVP caliber basketball. Has that been your mindset?
Not really. I mean, my mindset just been out there, going out there and playing basketball, and he's done a good job of putting me in spots to be successful, and my teammates have done a good job of giving me the ball where I'm most comfortable, and obviously they're encouraging me, to try to go get it, but I'm still continuously trying to play the right way, and if it happens, it happens. But I'm more about wins and trying to compete for a championship. Let the the rest of that stuff take care of itself.
Cam wasn't in the rotation as of last week. Starting for you guys, how would you describe the defensive impact he's made for you guys in just that short period of time?
Well, it's been great. I mean, that's what he do. He's disruptive. He's handsy. He's physical. He's tough. Slide his feet. That's what we need. And, he's been that for us, especially the last 3 games. And it stands out, and, got him in the rotation. So, when you need a player like that, we kind of just feed off that energy. He's coming to the game and getting steals and, guarding the, other team's best wing. And he's putting a lot of pressure, on that wing to make tough shots and make plays. And, that kind of just brings energy all the way down to our other 4 players on the floor, with him to kind of be disruptive as well and have his back and kind of do the same thing when our man gets the ball.
AD, we know how vast your defensive responsibilities are with the usage up on offense, and clearly that's easily translating to more points. Does it take any kind of more effort to be used that much more on offense, relative to all that you have to do on defense, or is it all kind of still within the flow for you?
Well, I think it's still, within the flow. We're trying to play a team defense where not one man is doing it all. Even like, for example, Cam, when he's, guarding PG, we're trying to show bodies, to, make him get off the ball. And then now it's on that guy, to do his job, and everybody else to do their job. So we protecting each other. So that's why I still put a lot of, pressure on myself defensively. I know that the guys, have my back, and, it's not so much, relying on me to, block a shot at the rim or guard, whoever. I think all of us are, buying into our defensive schemes, and, when we do it well, there's no pressure on one man, because we know that we're covered if we do get beat, or, we know other guys have our back.
Last 2.
You, throughout the World Series, kept repping the Dodgers for your walk-ins. What was it like having the champs here tonight, watching you guys win?
Yeah, it was good. Honestly, we've been to games. I'm banned from going to Dodger Stadium. I'm 0-4 when I go to a game, so I just watch it on TV now. But it's good. I mean, obviously it's motivating, obviously the last time,
Yeah.
But to see them, holding the trophy, met with us in the back before the game, and then at the end of the first, being able to, just see that brings the extra little, motivation to our team to try to do the same thing for LA.
Last question.
I don't think we got a chance to ask you about it, but did you watch any of the parade footage? I know that was something that
No, I did not.
stuck with you guys that you didn't get.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
Because we were in Toronto, they didn't have it on
Yeah.
the TV.
They have that.
Canada.
Just saying, come on.
I didn't. Huh?
Thanks, AD.
Thanks, AD. On that first one off a long road trip can always be a tough one. What do you feel like was clicking for you guys from start to finish?
I thought the ball was moving, it was popping. Defensively, we were really in tune with some of the things that we talked about. Our transition defense has been pretty bad to start the season, and then we really discussed that a lot before the game on getting back, loading up, covering the basket first, finding the ball, calling out the ball, calling out man, and then really communicating. And I thought we did a good job of that for the most part of the game. But the ball was definitely popping. Guys, we're all in a good rhythm.
Obviously, you get the win, but the lineup change made by JJ, what allowed that to work, and what was it throughout the course of the game that you saw with that adjustment?
What allowed it to work is the sacrifice that D'Lo and Cam, has continued to make, and obviously the biggest sacrifice was D'Lo, going to the bench, and it's no secret that our bench has been struggling to find ways to score, and the best way to change that is to put a scorer on the bench, and D'Lo came in and gave us a big time push off the bench, and Cam did a great job of just trying to make it a little tough on PG all night. So it was a compliment that worked on both sides, offensively and defensively, for our ball club.
Cam was out of the rotation as recently as a few games ago. Now he's starting. What type of defensive impact has he made over these last few games?
Everything. He's really good with his hands, really good laterally, very physical, and that's what we need, especially at the perimeter. On the perimeter, sometimes we lack a little foot speed. Cam makes up for that. We lack a little length, especially with Vandal out still. That Cam kind of makes up for it too until Vandal comes back, and then we get a lot of length with that. But until then, I think Cam just makes up for a lot that we were missing. So it's key for our ball club.
This is the time of the season, LeBron, where you guys want to build good habits that you can carry throughout the rest of the season. Do you think there's any slippage in those habits on the road trip that were addressed by the coaching staff and the leaders?
We addressed it, and we implemented it tonight, and we took the words to heart and got the job done.
Ron, I have a trend question for you. Do you feel like you, Katie, and Steph are more mentoring to the young guys, like the young and up-and-coming superstars, than they were to you guys when the old heads were there and you guys were up-and-coming?
I would hope that we are some way of mentor / inspiration on how to play the game, how to approach the game, how to be professionals, how to be role models to the next generation. So we will hope that we've left an imprint to the younger generation that's coming up in our game, that's here now, that will become part of our league soon. So that is the hope. Don't want to get into what the other generation either did or didn't do for us coming up. That's water under the bridge, and it really doesn't matter.
Thanks, Elder.
JJ was talking to us about he thought the good communication you guys had going into this lineup change and the professional approach you took leading to success on the court. How was it for you processing the switch, the swap, whatever you want to call it, and then how do you think the game went for you?
I just wanted to win. So whatever it took, change of plans, whatever it is, whatever coach needs, just try to get the win and be a part of that.
This isn't the first time this has happened. It happened last season. What did that experience last year tell you about accepting it this year? Did any of that hit, or is it totally new season, totally new job?
Yeah, I just wanted to win. I think that's what it came down to this year. Last year we didn't win, so just trying to be a part of the winning culture.
Kind of to Dave's question, does the relationship that you and
Same question?
Similar, but building off of it, does the relationship that you've built with the JJ, does that make that message, I guess, easier to land, or does it change the dynamic of those conversations more? Yeah, does it just change the dynamic of those conversations, how it's taken in?
Just want to win. I think however it happened, however the conversation, relationship, whatever it may be, try to be professional and be a part of winning. Simple as that. I left all that, all my baggage at the door this summer. Once we changed coaches and new staff came in, I was committed to whatever it takes. So it's what y'all see now.
D'Angelo, you had a bunch of buckets in the paint tonight, and just wondered if you saw anything with the coverages, or if you were getting more screens. If it was just kind of a way to represent the aggression and what you saw for that tonight.
I don't know. I maybe see it when I watch it. I think just trying to play the right way and win, not try to force anything, and that's as simple as that.
The way you guys have started playing this season, there's a lot of intentionality. There's a system, things I know that you like and you want, but it's also kind of taken you out of some of the stuff that you've done in terms of like pick and roll and different things to be really successful to this point. Are there more of those opportunities for you? It seemed like, especially in the second half, you're able to get to that pick and roll with AD, stuff that you guys have had a lot of success with in the past. Was that something that kind of manifested itself with the flip?
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't. I think just trying to try to do me within what we're trying to do, and that's the adjustment, and that's what I've been trying to figure out. But as far as taking it all this personal and giving y'all something, I don't really have anything. My approach has been professional from day one, and I'm committed to it through not playing, through coming off the bench, through whatever it may be. Like, I'm egoless, so I just want to win.
D'Lo, Coach was able to stagger some minutes with you and AD, and, you guys were very successful tonight. Just what do you think makes you guys so successful when you guys are on the court together?
I don't know. I think just being able to be aggressive in the pick and roll. Obviously we get downhill and have an advantage. They got to respect both of us. I don't think there's a hole in that two-man game. He can shoot, I can shoot. He's picking and popping more. He's a force when he rolls. If I'm making shots, I'm a force in the pick and roll. But people forget, and that's just all that is. I think, obviously y'all know our success rate. I am not gonna force it though. I think when it comes and it happens, that's when I can attack it.
D'Lo right here. Coach mentioned tonight that it was a group win. I know even the young guys got a couple of minutes in the game. As a teammate, as one of the leading voices on this team, what do you look for in those guys like Jalen or Maxwell to kind of get them going?
You try to tell them they're representation of, the whole league. The whole league's watching when you guys get in. It's not just garbage time or anything like that. I think when you're in that position, coaches and scouts, they're trying to find that sneaky guy that's not really getting any attention in those minutes. So for those guys, if the Lakers aren't, really paying attention to you, other teams are watching. So always remember that when you're out there.
One thing that, I've noticed just over this year is just a lot of the sacrifices that you have made on this team. And then just hearing from the other teammates on this team, they always talk about, you giving up the extra pass, being one of the leaders in hockey assists before this. Do you feel like a lot of people don't get a chance to see that aspect of it for you? Because I feel like I've noticed it, but I don't feel like a lot of others have. They just look at one little particular moment and it just goes to there.
I really do not look for validation from anybody. So for me, it is, I don't know, because I'm not looking for it. And I know what I'm capable of. If I'm in a position to do it, I'm going to thrive. If not, I got to adjust my game and try to figure it out around what's working. So that's where we're at now. And like I said, I'm committed to it. I don't need validation. I don't need coddle. I don't need praise. I don't need anything. I swear it's all, I'm strong. So I want to showcase that. Being in the blender, keep me in the blender, talk about whatever you got to do. I don't want to be a distraction to my teammates, but I can handle it. And I'll find a way out. So, appreciate it.
You guys obviously didn't have the type of road trip that you wanted, and JJ was open with us about kind of the messaging he had to you about effort. What do you think of kind of the team approach today, and especially how the lineup shift may have helped you guys?
Yeah, like you said, we didn't have the trip that we wanted to have. Things happen, and you had to figure out a way to, fix them. And basically, he came in today, them as a staff, and challenged us. I know I met with JJ before, film, and he challenged me to, he showed me a couple clips and instances where I wasn't competing the way I should have, and that's not like me, and I want to be coached like that, and we have a group that wants to be coached like that. So when he comes in and basically puts it on the screen, you can't hide from it. So I thought everybody took it good today. I felt like the change was good. D'Lo was super professional about everything. He's been an all-star in this league. Not a lot of guys would take that in a good way and go be productive. And I think you've seen today, today was one of his better games. So shout out to him, and, I thought it was good.
You've been through this exact situation that D'Lo's been in. What's the biggest challenge about staying professional, keeping the right attitude when, even though coaches will tell you it's not a demotion and stuff like that, I assume it still probably feels like one?
I don't know if it technically does still feel like a demotion, because I feel like, even in both instances, I feel like there was a lack of something we needed to do. D'Lo going to the bench is going to help our bench unit be better, just because he's a high-level player. And I think that was, the case for, me last year. We had a couple of injuries, and Darv at the time thought it was, beneficial for our team. So if you're a team player and really just care for the common good, and that's just winning, I don't think that it is or it does feel like a demotion. I think that, even more so on the flip side, it gives you more of an opportunity to go out there and be aggressive and, take those minutes and, dominate them, really.
Austin, just thinking about like starting lineup and defensive matchups, just with the size of the league, a lot of times either you or D'Lo would have to take somebody bigger and then do that on switches with Cam in there, or I guess even in the case if it's a Vando, does that make things so set sometimes better for both you and D'Lo with just what the matchups end up being?
Yeah, I mean, Cam is a high level defender, very active. Disrupts a lot of, plays or straight ISOs. When he's in an ISO situation, I never feel like, we're at a disadvantage. I genuinely feel, regardless of who he's guarding, when they go ISO against him, I feel very comfortable with that. He's got height. He's got his wingspans. I don't know what it is technically, but, he presents, issues for guys. He's guarded me in practice, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it either. So, like I said, many a times you tip your hat to a guy like that to go in. He took one shot tonight, was 1 for 1, and changed the game in multiple ways.
Hey, Austin. As a team, you guys have been struggling from the 3-point line, but shot 45% tonight. You made your first 5. Just how good did that feel, and how do you build off that?
Yeah, it feels good. My brother's been texting me, wearing me out about why I'm missing shots, and he's definitely asleep right now. So when he wakes up, I hope he's happy with how I shot it tonight. But it's a miss and make league. You're going to go through times where you feel like you can't miss, and you're going to go through times where you feel like you can't make one. And, I mean, you even look at it, Dalton going 1 for 8, 0 for 5 from 3. He had a lot of really good looks, and, 2 or 3 of them I know touched, the rim 3 or 4 times and rattled out. So if he makes those, then we shoot an even higher percentage. And, we're obviously still encouraging him to, shoot every good look he gets because he can shoot it at a high level. So I think it just is a testament to us playing good basketball.
Hey, Austin. AD has obviously opened up this season playing MVP caliber basketball. Has anything struck you about how he's talking or his approach this season?
Not really. I think I've been lucky enough to see it for 3 years now. And I know the media goes crazy when he has one bad game. But I feel like for 3 years, he's been very dominant. And when he does stuff like he did tonight, like, it doesn't surprise me. I think he would have to go at like 45 and 20 to really he really dominated tonight. Even though he dominates every game, I just feel like it's kind of what I expect from him because he's so good.
Thanks, Austin.
Thank you.
JJ, you had mentioned, before the game, looking for the balance in the lineups with a little more defense with Cam and a little more offensive pop with D'Lo. How did you feel like that played out tonight?
I thought both those guys starred in the roles that they had tonight. Cam took 1 shot in 27 minutes, but had a huge impact on the game defensively. Paul George never got going at any point in the game. I think in the first half, I know we had 3 smash screen assists coming out of set plays. I think Cam had 2 of them. Like, that's sacrifice. That's really just unselfishness. And then for D'Lo, I thought he starred in that role as well. Big time pop for us off the bench. A really efficient night for him. And he just played really good basketball. But I thought across the board for our group, it was a group win. We had a very professional approach to the game. We had a very professional approach to the game plan, to some attention to detail stuff. Our transition defense wasn't perfect, but we had numerous possessions where the things that we wanted to see and we emphasized in our meeting this afternoon were either visible or you could, hear it. There was an auditory component to it in terms of the talk and the communication. And obviously, LeBron, AD, and AR were phenomenal, but in terms of the challenge and the of playing hard and the effort and execution, it was the entire group. I thought Jackson Hayes had a great game. The stats won't jump out at you, but he was awesome tonight. Gabe Vincent was solid again. So it was, for us, it was a group win, and I was really just happy for the group to connect again, if that makes sense. Where you can sometimes go out on the road and things don't go your way, and it's not that we've splintered. We haven't done that at all. The group has been awesome, but sometimes you need to win. Sometimes you need to play well to feel that connection, and I thought the group had that tonight.
Quick follow-up on D'Lo game, but just the way that he handled it, how aggressive he was, and you kind of predicted that in a way, just based on how you guys have been communicating. But is that encouraging for you from a attitude standpoint as you now move?
Yeah, I'm not surprised that he approached the game the way that he did, and that he had the performance he had. Again, we've asked him to do things. He's been accepting of the role. He has talked with me all the time. He has a really strong desire to win, and he has a really strong desire to be coached. And our communication level from June 20th to today has been nothing but open, honest, and transparent. And I would assume it will continue to be. But he was, even just coming to our meeting today, just a professional, great attitude, all of the things that you want. And you see it all the time in the league where guys can take that the wrong way, like it's some sort of punishment, like play the victim. And D'Lo didn't do any of that. And that's part of the reason that he had the game that he had.
JJ, now that you made the starting lineup change, now it seems like Cam's going to be the guy defending the.
It's all fluid.
All fluid. Cam was the guy defending Paul George. He's the main perimeter defender. Austin had his best shooting performance in a while. Is there a benefit to Austin in that sense? And if you have Cam out there, he can be a little bit more free offensively.
You can only hypothesize about correlation when it comes to someone having to take a very tough defensive matchup and then also having to have a significant offensive burden in terms of shot creation, and the effect and correlation between those two things, whether or not, off shooting nights are part of having to also then chase around tier one offensive players. Because he's also had some really good nights where he's had to do both. But I think for balance, again, that was the word I used with you and before the game. I think for the balance of the group and for the balance of roles, this felt like the right thing to do right now. But it is, I just want to be clear, this is all very fluid.
JJ, one quick one and one longer one. The quick one, when did you decide to make the starting lineup change? Was this something like right in the aftermath of the Memphis game, or was this something this morning?
No, there was, listen, I was a player, and D'Lo and I talked about this, like, I'm not somebody who's just going to, overreact and have 19, hopefully not, hopefully we're healthy. You don't have 19 different starting lineups in 25 games. It required a lot of thought. And to be honest with you, it also required removing emotion from it, because there is a balance as a coach in trying to do what you believe is best for the group, but also being empathetic and sensitive to each player and trying to maximize those players and empower those players and not mess up or sort of put something in their head about what they are or what they aren't. And there's a really hard balance that I kind of had to work through. I came in this morning with the staff and we talked about it. It was part of our discussion for our coaches meeting this morning. We all felt like it was the right thing to do for right now. And again, both those guys were great tonight.
And then second one would just be Cam was out of the rotation a few games ago. Now he's a few games later, he's starting. What type of impact has he made, especially defensively, just in these last few games to kind of earn that spot?
Yeah. So Cam had some ankle stuff happening in September. He was what we call like a modified player during parts of training camp, which means no live action. So he kind of missed out on a lot of the stuff we were doing. When we went to Phoenix in the preseason, he got an extended run in that game. I told him I thought he was really good defensively and his effort was really strong. And, that, again, first time coaching him, you gotta build some trust in. And his last two games on that road trip, the defensive effort was there. And again, the trust got built more. And after tonight, there's more trust. That's kind of how this works. And so I just felt comfortable with him in that role for tonight.
Recognizing the fluid nature of where these lineups could go, the fact that you had already staggered D'Lo with AD and LeBron with AR in different units, did any of that kind of help this transition, you think, tonight for D'Lo's role?
Yes. I the other component to it, Dave, is the game of basketball requires sacrifice inherently. It's not like baseball where when it's your turn to bat, it's your turn to bat. And then you kind of just wait around for 8 other tries and then it's your turn to bat. The quarterback's going to have have the ball in his hand. Pitcher's going to have the ball in his hand. Golf and tennis, you've got the racket, you've got the club. There's one ball and there's 5 guys on the court. And our starting group that we've used up until this point, 4 of those guys need and want the basketball. And that's kind of what I mean with the balance. So, yes, we had done the sort of first substitution and that change and kind of mirrored AD and D'Lo together and AR and LeBron together. So that was helpful. But I probably would say the balance is more in line with why that decision was made.
And just a quick follow. Obviously, we talked about the way you have your substitutes with 2 major stars, having one of them on the court at all time. It's not your traditional bench scoring numbers that you look at. But considering D'Angelo's offensive skill set, could that give a different dimension to the bench?
I mean, we talked. You asked me I think it was you that asked me the question on the road trip about that, and I'm not necessarily obsessing over how many points per game our bench scores, but it is nice. It is nice to have some pop off the bench. We also think Dalton will eventually become one of those guys that can come in and on any given night get you 15 to 20 in a short amount of time because I believe he is an efficient scorer. So now we kind of, at least at this stage after tonight, we've got 2 of those guys.
JJ, the last time we talked to AD, he was really uncertain about the heel and the severity of it and wasn't quite sure what his runway was going to be moving forwards. What kind of information did you get on the foot, and how do you think he looked after 48 hours off of it?
I thought he looked like AD. Was diagnosed finally, correct, Mitch, as plantar fasciitis? Yes. Okay, so it was diagnosed as plantar fasciitis. To be clear, I was kind of aware that he had dealt with plantar fasciitis at different points in time. during the summer and preseason. I didn't recognize, I guess, the correlation between what I thought was more like an ankle thing in Detroit versus, just kind of like a nagging thing. And, we felt like I've had plantar fasciitis. I'm sure a lot of people in this room have. That just getting the extra rest would be helpful, and it looked like it was.
Hey, JJ. AD has obviously opened up this season playing MVP caliber basketball. What talks did you have with him heading into the season about how you wanted him to approach things?
To win the MVP.
Really?